Now let's go to today's post in gaming. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because you didn't freaking cook it.
Deleted, says, removed.
Hipster Gender says puts Link's face between two pieces of bread. What are you? Link. HEYA.
Justed Abwildo says if they added a Gordon Ramsay DLC where he sends you on a quest to make different meals for him, I would buy it immediately. I would spend more money on it than necessary too.
Maya replies, hey, I'd buy it. Mozzie95 says, I'm sorry Mr. Ramsay. I'm on a tight show, I don't give a flying fuck, you useless monkey.
Sarcastic Pretzel says, awesome fanart. Who made it?
Now let's go to today's post in memes. Like postman, like son.
Legosi 420 says, who know, maybe his mom is a fucking Amazon warrior princess. Sergo Van says, also don't exclude factor of neighbor.
JChaos01 says they got us in the first half.
Dirteeds says that's his son for sure, as their faces are very similar. Same nose, chin, ears. Pretty good sign. All my brothers are balding and I got head full of hair still. I'm also rail thin and they weigh 250 pounds each. What genes you pulled is just random and could be from anyone from way back in your family tree. My mom does genealogy and there's people in our family in the late 1800s. There's photos of that look like me. Doihavima word says dwarfism is dominant, but the double dominant expression is lethal in infancy. That means anyone with dwarfism who survives to have kids is a mix. Even with two parents with dwarfism, there is a 25% chance of their kid being normal height.
Lovidoti says if Jeffrey Dahmer didn't like boys. Now let's go to today's post in memes. I'm gonna save you 20 minutes of ranting. Sexy Prince Zote says me. The grades in American high school include 9th, 11th, 12th, etc. Always gotta leave one out in case people ask for more examples. Then you go, well, there are certainly too many more for a comprehensive list. But one major example is 10th grading, then introduce some kind of non sequitur. But in reality, undergraduate college grades are what we should be talking about, in the hopes they won't press you any further about high school grades. Total Trash Panda replies, or hit him with the all nice weather today, huh?
OG Papa Sid says wait, you guys have examples.
Total Trash Panda replies, Umayo, I should have put that on the giant in the background, people who forget the examples.
Imogen Nexus says there's an even worse third group though, people who only list one example before jumping straight to etc.
Total Trash Panda replies, oh of course.
Now let's go to today's post in memes. We are always watching.
Koloblik in 1982 says, and we are mostly lurkers.
TJ 7596 says, you rang?
Senior Spook says 4:37 AM. Kajakwajak says I do tend to crawl around like that.
Max per 91 says don't forget second shift Americans with insomnia. Max per 91 replies, we do exist, without meaning to mind you.
Now let's go to today's post in memes. An ancient format.
Bastiango 97 says, WTF, how could I even forget Ben Swallow was a thing.
Scrapfantime 2 says, damn boy, that father thick. Paid to be awesome says, ever wonder what all the butts look like with these pants?
Tony the L3V1 Crush 3R says just get pants extensions.
YEETTHEBLOOMINGBET says Obelix still fixin'.
Soviet Dragon says, first time I've seen Obelix in a meme. By Tautidus. That's my favorite comic.
Now let's go to today's post in memes. I'm proud of that dude.
Wojak Unbound 99 says I wish I could work for him. Maybe he wouldn't be a dickhead boss when I fuck up.
Chicken Abyssical says people need to learn that not only is autism something you can live a perfectly normal life with, but it can also be an asset rather than a liability.
Momosum says here is the link, https://www.abc6.com/story/4135170/man-with-autism-start-his-own-business-after-no-1-else-with-hire-him.
A sea of bus fishing says, fuck yes.
Atene21 says, as someone with autism, being declined for many jobs, which I could be really helpful, makes me depressed. Also feel I am no good at anything. Even went for an interview the other week with positive replies to later be declined.
Mighty Mac says I have autism too. Work is hard, plus finding a good base that understands you. Meltdowns can and will happen. I've been here 5.5 years. I think the big key to my success is working night shift, minimal interaction, and not really stressful.
Now let's go to today's post in memes. A pro gamer move.
Flare Fortress 92 says whether we wanted it or not.
Apple Master 7 says we've been tricked, backstabbed, and quite possibly bamboozled at it. Thanks for 3 silvers. Thank you, stranger. These were my first ever silvers and gold now.
Spark ZXD says oh yeah, this is big brain time. Krasilock Jun says how do panids survive in the wild, they just seem so fucking weak.
Postnecktie says clever girl.
Dark Elf 747 says you are intelligent. I'll give you that. Now let's go to today's post in memes. Show me a better hero. Another closet atheist says which one is Pokemon Pika Pika Pika. Love that guy.
Whitewashed 7 says man, imagine the pressure for her to not do shitty in school now.
Labishal replies at least she gets to go there.
So Olderman 2020 says I low-key kinda always wanted to get into the card game community but never understood it.
Labishal replies having fun is the important thing.
Kakazakwa says reminds me of Homer Simpson selling his Duff Blimp ride ticket for Lisa. Now let's go to today's post in mildly interesting. Maria is such a common name in Brazil, that there's a drawer only for them, in a doctor I went yesterday.
Murder Chef Ryu says if you ever want to hide from someone, move to California and change your name to Maria Lopez.
Flip MC Twist says that W is in a weird place.
Eric VA says just because this is being asked and answered repeatedly: I in Brazil we don't sort by last names. We use first names for everything, and using the last name alone is very weird. If we need to specify, we use nicknames. In a formal situation, we never say Mr. Surname. Not even in newspapers, not even for authorities. It's senhor, pronounced senor, name plus surname, or only the name. It's senhora for married women and senhorita for unmarried women. If you want to show deference and humbleness, suck up a little, you can call a man duder, doctor, and a woman dona. Never call a man dom, as in Spanish and Italian, because it is considered regal. Except if you are talking to a Catholic bishop. If you do, use the first name, not the last.
Mokan replies great explanation. I really didn't expect that many people to be confused by it. Seems like it's not a very common thing around the world.
EGH6 says shit now I can only imagine the size of the Mohammed drawer in Muslim countries.
Colby 979 says A got its own drawer as well. What's the most common name that starts with A in Brazil?
Now let's go to today's post in humans being gross. Thank you Robert Pritzker.
Nupper11 says as someone with T1T who recently started self-employment, I have come to the sad realization of how limiting this disease can be financially and physically. I am hoping I am able to make enough money in my new endeavors to cover this new cost. I wish Iowa would pass this.
STRAYE closed says fucking good. My dad died because it wasn't free. He was 54.
Gerald Tuntiril says that's still criminally expensive. A 12-month supply in the England is 104 British pounds. Those on certain benefits, or those that live in Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland don't pay anything. Y'all seriously need reform, though I suspect I'm preaching to the choir here. Edit, see comment from Nude Bash for an explanation of how charges work.
Graffitachat says Robert. Deleted, says, deleted. North Forthesima says it's one, of many required, step in the right direction. Hopefully other civilians elected to office to represent their fellow citizens follow suit. Meaning politicians need to actually care about their constituents, which at face value shouldn't be fucking hard.
Now let's go to today's post in awe. I meowed at our neighbor's cat once and now it regularly comes up to our door and just watches us live our lives. Greenlight says hey everyone, I have no idea how to add text to this post, so I'm just commenting and hoping it doesn't get buried too deep. Thank you for the many awards and entertaining comments. I'm honestly overwhelmed. To clear up a couple of things, 1, I would love to let him her in. but one of our dogs is an elderly retired hunting dog and attacks smaller animals. Our other two dogs are just very confused by Orange Cat and we don't know how they would react to a meeting. Orange Cat is much safer outside. Our neighbors are good pet owners who keep Orange Cat fed and happy, they just let it wander sometimes. 2. The glass is one of two narrow panels on our front door. We have a covered front porch, so people can technically see in, but they would have to walk up our porch and squeeze their faces in between the trim on the panels to really see much. 3. Orange Cat shows up a couple times a week when the weather is nice. Owners keep it inside once it gets cold, so we probably won't see Orange Cat until April now that we have snow cover. 4. It is sometimes a terrifying experience to walk past the door and see this thing looking in. Especially at night if our porch light is off and the cat gets glowy eyes. We are a little concerned it's learning our routine for nefarious reasons.
Urbanek 2525 says a coworker of mine had a cat move next door. After she gave birth to twins, the cat probably couldn't handle the noise, smells, etc. associated with two new babies. It started hanging out at the neighbor's house. They thought it was a stray, so they start feeding it. The neighbors finally let the cat in, which meant my coworker thought their cat was missing. My coworker put up posters, which the neighbor saw, and the cat's whole scheme was revealed. The cat ended up living next door, and then when the neighbor had to move to another state, they all agreed the cat would be happier in a home without children.
Lone MILF says your remark grievously offended him. He's plotting your demise.
Berry Trots 86 says this man speaks my native tongue, but how?
Dallas 372 says I think he's just amazed that a human meowed, and he keeps watching you for more proof. Seriously, guys, I'm not kidding. That human fucking meowed, right at me. It was the weirdest thing. Just wait, he'll do it again. Give him a sec.
Frankie Stadium says he's judging you.
Now let's go to today's post in awe. A rescued baby ringtail possum warming up in front of a car heater.
Shedwin 2019 says I got the following text from here, https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=CKS78RCA Australian farmer Isaac Martlew rescued a baby ringtail possum from a bushfire-ravaged area of Kangaroo Island, as seen in social media footage posted Saturday, January 18. Martlew found the animal shivering from the cold under a tree on his property. Martlew looked after the possum for 2 nights and then gave it to his friends, who were able to better take care of the animal. Reuters.
Bean Dip Deadlifts says I love our human biological tendency to adore all babies no matter the species.
Bobabird Kenobi says put him in your shirt so he'll feel like he's still with mama.
Waxwork says I found one while out horse riding. It was completely hairless and freezing cold. The mother was dead from being hit by a car, so I tucked it in my bra to warm it while I rode home. It was a bit of a ride and was starting to move around as it warmed up. I kept it in there as I headed out to the vets, who was kind of shocked when I walked in apparently possumless, then whipped it out the bra. The little guy survived and was slowly released back into the bushland around us, coming back every night for months before it started coming back with a friend and then vanishing, so I like to think he went and started a family.
Based nobody says any baby born after 100 million BC just knows stay warm, snuggle, get pets, and drink milk.
Xiner says good luck lil fella.
Now let's go to today's post in funny. Rock, paper, scissors.
Petty Mid 42 says this girl is going to be playing rock, paper, scissors in like 10 years, and when she wins she's going to shove her opponent's face into the table.
Slay All Day says did you guys catch that first powder-faced smile for the camera? She's like geez NOW, it's time to demolish daddy.
Accomplished Friend says of course the little girl is having a ball, but what really makes the video for me is the dad, or possibly just some dude, but dad feels better, absolutely having the time of his life with the little girl. His laugh is what clouds are made of.
Lord Enki 40 says that made me smile on a really crappy day. Thank you.
Daisy says are they speaking Portuguese?
Zinny08 says that's the greatest thing I've seen in a long time.
Now let's go to today's post and funny. If there's a single line of footprints in the snow, I like to walk on the opposite step to make it look like one person was hopping. Siku says admitted OP, you just enjoy hopping in the snow. Not a good boy says I always walk in their footsteps so I'm invisible to hypothetical trackers.
Don't Quit says never even thought of this, but being in WI I'm definitely stealing this idea. Thanks.
Mythical Beast 42 replies glad I could share the idea.
Elita Closer says size and shape of the shoe prints are remarkably similar.
Mythical Beast 42 replies yeah, kind of lucky with that. That being said, I have a very average shoe size and very generic sneakers, so there'll be plenty of people that kinda match me.
Now let's go to today's post and funny. My kids came in and told me there was water coming from the laundry room. They said it looked like it started at the washer. I rushed in to find this. Buncha comedians in my house.
Ryan Moore says they've challenged your role as father with this joke. They've set in motion a series of events of which their groans of "DAIOD" will sound like the drums of war. It is your duty to foster this creative hilarity, and reveal it to Reddit for sweet karma.
Death Leopard says nice to see a good, old-fashioned, harmless prank.
Kyra 2018 says nice kids. My daughters can be funny too. Thanks God they died and see this post lol.
Narcolepsy Inc. replies I would imagine my daughter saw it online somewhere, too. She's often the mastermind of these things. I was pretty impressed, and happy I didn't have a washer to fix.
Cal Rental says this originated on the app TikTok. I guess your kids are with the times, comedy is evolving.
Narcolepsy Inc. replies my wife told me this is where my daughter got the idea. I thought it was very clever.
Now let's go to today's post in pics. My picture from my 11 bin Cairo, Egypt. Couch Potato Famine says that almost looks like one of those fake screened on images on the window blinds. Cool. Moutinku replies I can't tell you how many people claim it's photoshopped.
Tudil 101 says is that a jacuzzi in the bedroom?
Moutinku replies yes it is. This place costs $0 a night.
Cosmic Questions says lying in bed seeing them all lit up night must have been awesome.
Checks Out says doesn't Pizza Hut have a view like that?
Now let's go to today's post in GIFs. American vet learns the Rolex he bought in the 70s is now worth $0,000 to $0,000.
Captain's Rinks says more specifically, this is when he heard watches like this go for about 0,000. The appraiser follows that up with, watches like this are worth 00k, and then tells him the real worth. If you like Antiques Roadshow, this is a good one to watch.
Alcapsavariction replies this post is based on actual events. Certain details and timelines have been changed for dramatic purposes. Detailed says he paid a mere $45.97, and even got 10% off while he was stationed in Thailand, working to clear roads of landmines and clean up munition storage spots. In 1974, edit so many replies. To answer a few questions. Yes, that was quite a bit of $sign in 1974. According to the article, a month's salary for this young man. If your uncle, aunt, sister, brother, grandparent has an old Rolex, contact the company. Rolex is notorious for keeping meticulous records for their products. Worst case scenario, it's fake. Even worse, it's stolen. For a brief history on Rolex, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Rolex. It was quite common for servicemen to purchase them as they were known for their durability and quality. Bonus, there is a murder mystery that was solved thanks to the company's detailed records. Edit 2 Yes, there are landmines in Asia.
Ganymede Boy says Sniper got him.
Generald94 says this happened in my town. The vet is a super sweet guy that helps out around the VA hospital. My mom works as a nurse there and told me about how he found out about his watch. He was telling everyone at the hospital.
Rosanna Dana says what an amazing story. He paid $45 in 1974, which is equivalent to $790 today, and the watch is worth, conservatively, 0,000. That's a compound annual growth rate of 17.6%. Much better than any market investment would have paid in the last 45 years. As a fellow watch enthusiast, I can't help but feel extremely happy for this guy.
Now let's go to today's post in GIFs. My attempt at a confusing perspective trick.
Hyperdream says great job, though with the facial expressions I feel like it's missing white face paint and a beret. DJ193 says I think this fried my last 5 functioning brain cells watching this. It's very well done.
Rikidit says I need a tutorial.
Drunken Olympian says well done. Source: am confused. Edit. Thank you for the silver kind stranger.
Ma Maguni says confusing perspective or video editing.
Psalm 44 says his name is Kevin B. Perry. Super random. He was my friend's housemate in college, so when I started seeing him show up online I was like, man, that guy looks so similar, but then it made me so happy that it was actually him.
Now let's go to today's post in GIFs. Kobe explaining the game to his daughter last month. Both have perished today.
Cream Peaches says very sad when I heard the news, especially the kids on board. The Altabelli family was on board too. John Altabelli, his wife Kerry and young daughter Alyssa. He leaves behind 2 other kids, a daughter and son.
Zan 9999 says this GIF is beautiful and I imagine it's exactly how he would like to be remembered. Passing along his love of the game to the next generation. RIP to both of them.
Donna Finn Noble says his pride when she gets it. I feel so awful for his wife to have to endure 2 losses of such a huge magnitude.
Virilized Sprayantoya says that last moment must have been so scary. I hope that at the very least they could comfort each other before the abrupt end.
Papa Spears says just horrible. She had her whole life ahead of her and Kobe was just starting life after basketball. Edit spelling.
Joe 199,799 says just fuck man, it's so surreal. I feel for his wife and the rest of his kids. I can't even imagine what they are going through. Edit. I want to also acknowledge the other people that tragically lost their lives as well. Just because they weren't famous people doesn't mean they should be put under somebody of a higher status. The whole situation is equally tragic and you can only hope in time all parties involved can find peace.
Now let's go to today's post in videos. Casually explained. Reddit.
Zook says hello, you casually explained. Thank you for your submission. Unfortunately, it is being removed due to the following reason. Rule 0 videos only. Audio over a static image or slideshow. Music visualizers and lyric videos will be removed. For more information, please read the rules here. Thank you for understanding.
Dreamgirly says R-Pix is for creative writing. That's the best description for it I've ever seen.
Casually explained says Archimedes Cemetery. Casually explained replies mod over there. Op is definitely on the spectrum. Casually explained says damn. Watching this video reminds me of having sex with my wife, who I have not had sex with for a while on account of her being dead. Boy, if I had the choice of having sex with anyone again, it would be her. Casually explained replies yeah, you like that, you fucking retard?
Now let's go to today's post in news. Kobe Bryant killed in helicopter crash in California.
Huzakiwi says let's try and keep the comments here civil. You don't have to like Kobe, but celebrating his death, making jokes about it, and wishing death threatening other people still violates our rules. Users who threaten other people will be banned on site.
Crackhead Rodeo says leaving your house and returning safely is such an underrated blessing.
Blue Lily 216 says not too long ago he was pictured alongside his daughter at a basketball game and they seemed so close. She also died today. Rest in peace Kobe and John. Okay guys, I keep getting some pretty fucked up messages in my inbox. If you have a problem, especially if it was because he was black, please swallow your cowardice and post it here so you can get the ridicule you deserve.
Peter says 12:35 p.m. PT Kobe's daughter Gianna Maria Akajiji was also on board the helicopter and died in the crash. Reps for Kobe tell TMZ Sports. She was 13. We are told they were on their way to the member academy for a basketball practice when the crash occurred. The academy is in nearby Thousand Oaks. Ebola94 says TMZ reporting Kobe's 13-year-old daughter also killed in crash. https://www.tmz.com /2020/01/26/Kobe-Bryant-kill-dead-crash-in-collapsus/.
Onipiket says I sat next to Kobe for 3 innings of Game 2 of the 2002 World Series. My dad's company gave him 2 of the firm's season tickets for that game and our family went. They were amazing club seats, like the 3rd or 4th row. But he only had 2 for our family in 4. So we bought 2 nosebleed seats and my mom, dad, brother and I kept switching seats throughout the game. After the 2nd inning I went down to switch seats with one of my parents, and found out Kobe Bryant was sitting in the seat next to me. I was stoked. I was 9 and a Lakers fan, and asked him to sign a crappy little fabric Angels pennant. It was the only thing I had on me. They handed them out at the gate to everybody. I obviously didn't realize this at the time, but to Kobe's bodyguards it looked like a kid had just snuck into this absurdly expensive section and stole the seat of some lady, my mom, who got up to go to the bathroom or WE. My older brother was still looking for my dad to get his ticket, so I was by myself. This was 2002 and I was 9, so no cell phone either. His bodyguard asked me where I got my ticket from. It was on a lanyard and my family was passing it back and forth. I said something along the lines of my brother and I were sitting way up in the nosebleed seats, but now I have this ticket and get to sit here. He understood that to mean that I stole my ticket from a stranger. The bodyguard took this very seriously and flagged stadium security. This scared the shit out of me because I had no way of contacting my parents or proving my story. I suddenly thought I was going to get kicked out and ruin the night for the rest of my family. I was on the verge of tears when Kobe turned to the stadium security guy and told him I was his guest. He then told his bodyguard to leave me alone and said he'd sign anything I had. It doesn't seem like a big deal now, but it really meant a lot to me then. R.I.P. Kobe.
Now let's go to today's post in Ask Reddit. Girls who took notes using 50 different colored pens. Where are you now? Do you still continue to write using all those colors?
Vansifish says, am I allowed to answer if I'm a guy? Because I ended up becoming the Excel guy in my office. All of my spreadsheets are exquisitely color-coded.
Nomare Pumpkins says my grade 9 science teacher forced us all to do it. He said that by color-coding everything you understood the material better because you had to think about it longer to color-code it and understand what other things it was associated with, not just zone out and go into transcribing mode. He also made us do end-of-unit study guides. They had to be color-coded, a set amount of drawings, and unit words and definitions. The drawings were doodles based on things in the unit. He would mark them and hand them back before the test, which was great because he knew if he needed to help us with something before we bombed the test. He was also MMA fighter with cauliflower ears and not the type of guy you would expect to demand rainbow-colored notes edit. There was a lot of people asking for examples, so I'll make one up this afternoon.
Sloan88 says there's a PM at my company that does this. No idea how the hell she has the focus and time to take such detailed technicolor dream notes during meetings, but I've never had a problem with getting any relevant info from her, so gotta respect note-taking game like that. Bob Twistpool says we all became bullet journalists.
Godspeller says certain law school prep guides teach you to take notes on court opinions using different colors. 90% of first-year law students show up with 4 different color highlighters. By the end of the last year, few still use them. In legal practice, I have developed color coding for notes of the cases I'm working on. I have not yet found a way to put a heart over the I in my filings. Bodendi says I use different ink and highlighter colors to compensate for terrible ADD. I work in a chemistry lab now. Sometimes I'll still use brightly colored pens to record my results for fun, but I don't ever switch between colors, color code anything anymore. All the different colored ink highlighting helped me remember my notes come exam time. So now that I'm out of college, I don't need to switch between colors. I low-key miss color coding and taking notes sometimes, though.
Now let's go to today's post in World News. China spent the crucial first days of the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak arresting people who posted about it online and threatening journalists. Kazik says back when I lived in China, the mayor of my city said there would be 0 SARS cases in that city. Sure enough, there were 0 cases reported in that city.
Audit says this is the best TL doctor I could make, original reduced by 90%. I'm a bot. As the Wuhan coronavirus death toll rose to at least 18 on Thursday, the Chinese government is facing questions over its vice grip on the flow of information in the early days of the outbreak. There have also been concerning reports of journalists being detained or threatened with arrest while reporting on the coronavirus in Wuhan. The Hong Kong news outlet TVB reported on January 14 that a group of journalists, including a reporter from their outlet, were detained for hours while covering the outbreak at the Wuhan hospital that has been treating patients. *** extended summary *** FAQ, feedback, top keywords, report 1 Wuhan 2 government re-outbreak 4 time 5.
Damison says sounds about right. A Chinese doctor found that some blood donation centers had up to 13% HIV infection rates in the 1990s. After she reported it, she was physically beaten, her lab destroyed, and she lost her job. https://www.bbc.com News World Asia 49,834,904.
Halosaurus says, and then they threaten to punish any doctor who would conceal cases of infection. Confusing times for people in China. They have to stay on top of the ever-changing rules. China is like your alcoholic father.
Apparatord says because China, that's why.
Smegma on Demand says that's because the journalists kept calling it Winnie the Flu.
Now let's go to today's post in public freakout. A farmer in Nebraska asking a pro-FRACKING committee member to honor his word of drinking water from a fracking location.
A Mirrorbot says the following re-uploads of this video are available. Mirror number 1, provided by uTuckbot. Note, this is a bot providing a directory service. If you have trouble with any of the links above, please contact the user who provided them. Look at my programming.
The Manifestation says this was 4 years ago and I was hoping there'd be like a verbal fight that urged the committee members to drink it, but there isn't. Here.
Survivor Dress says never mess with a man in overalls.
Rampant Lion 757 says I was at a trade show and a guy told me his cleaner was natural and organic. So I said drink it and I'll buy some. And he did.
In a Glaskage says they won't even answer. Fucking cowards.
Beef Curtains 18 says imagine being the producer of this public access channel and saying to your crew, yeah, that loud ass fucking noise when you pan the camera is fine, no biggie.
Now let's go to today's post in Comedy Heaven. Man, I hate Facebook.
Memesapris says Jar shit of approval.
Omnipotent says just wants what he can't have.
Tylo Pedlambo says just respond okay.
PMME Your Pass says on Facebook Marketplace there's buttons with a bunch of pre-made messages, this is one of them. They must have not realized they pressed it.
Zg says how to assert your dominance.
Harry Xpotter 911 says Lawrence.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.